welcome back to Mexico in Forza Horizon 5. It's been a long time since I did a video with this game. I think something like a year and a half, which is pretty silly of me because this is one of my more frequently requested games to play here on the channel. I think it's, every couple of weeks at least somebody is asking if I'm going to do another one. So here we are. And today I thought we would explore the new Rally Adventure DLC area. This location is called Sierra Nuevo. And it's mountainous and rugged and sometimes quite stormy region, so we could end up with a big old storm here. We'll just have to see. Our vehicle of choice today is an absolute classic, the iconic, legendary Ferrari F40. This might be my favorite Ferrari of all time. It's a hard choice because there's lots of beautiful Ferraris, but as far as timeless, classic, and beautiful designs go, it's pretty hard to beat the F40. So we're going to take that for a spin today. This is, of course, not a rally car by any stretch of the imagination, but we might take it off-road a bit anyway. We'll just, be careful with it. So sit back, relax, and let's go for a relaxing drive. The F40, of course, is not only a beautiful looking car, but also a beautiful sounding car, as are many Ferraris. Most Ferraris, I would say. Ferraris are known for how beautifully tuned their engine sounds are. Now, because we're taking a relaxing drive here today, I'm not going to be opening up the throttle. I won't be putting the pedal to the metal, which is a little bit of a shame. Sometimes it is a challenge for me to resist just flooring it. Sometimes people wonder and ask about that in the comments. So if you're wondering, yes, it is difficult for me sometimes. But, gotta keep the vibes chill. Little jaunty tune playing from that truck over there, which we could smash for some points, but that wouldn't be very relaxing. Even at these low speeds, though, listen to that engine purr. The F40 is equipped with a twin-turbo V8, 2.9 liter, putting out close to 480 horsepower. I love the look of the wet pavement here. Puddles are very pretty. since the last time I did a video in this game, it's actually received some graphical upgrades. We now have some fancy features like ray traced reflections on the cars themselves. It used to be that the ray tracing was only present in the Forza Vista mode, where you're viewing the car up close in a garage, essentially. But now you can have it apply to when you're driving out and about as well. And that means we get some fun features like self-reflections in the car. So for example, we can see if we turn the camera, the mirrors of the car are reflected in the body of the car, as would be the spoiler. You can see it on the rear there. And the ray traced reflections basically provide more accurate, physically grounded, and complete reflections. It's kind of a nice view from up here, isn't it? Definitely stormy over there. Lots of lightning. I wouldn't want to be in one of those balloons, I think, given the storminess. Alright, shall we carry on? Looks like there's maybe a little pull-off area here. A little rest stop or something. If we hang a left. Or at least a viewpoint. Yeah, we've got a little picnic area. That's nice. This game is so absurdly detailed if you actually slow down and take the time to appreciate the detail of the environments that Playground Games has created here. It's truly remarkable. A little roadside stand here selling what looks like pots, maybe. Playground Games, of course, has another big project they're working on right now. That would be the new Fable game, which that was unintentional. Which we finally got to see for the first time during the last not E3 season, summer game season, whatever we call it these days. Gosh, can you imagine taking this car on roads like this, like for real? Just with all these jagged, angular rocks. I do hope the new Fable is good. I only ever played the first Fable, But I know people really like Fable 2 and 3 as well. Maybe 3 a bit less so. I could be mistaken about that. That's just the impression I got. But of course, those games are of their time, and whatever new Fable Playground comes up with is going to be pretty different, I think. Or, similar in spirit, but maybe a bit more like a reboot than a sequel. Now, I bet you there's a really nice view from up by this old ruined church. What do you say that we do a bit of off-roading here? Just like the F40 was made for. Oh gosh. I'm wincing at the thought of what's happening to the undercarriage, but I really wanted to come up here because I bet you we'll get a dramatic view of this storm that's popping off right now. We have to be careful not to. Ooh. That was a little bit loud, but I did not want to go over the edge. I must admit, I am playing with a controller, and the triggers are, accelerate on the right and brake, but also reverse on the left. So when you go to brake like that, sometimes you end up just slamming it into reverse. It's kind of awkward. This dramatic storm, though. The rain is kind of relaxing, though, isn't it? Let's pop into the cabin here. Gosh, our wipers are just going. But I love the sound of rain in a car. The sound on the roof. Kind of windy up here, right? I think I might have just heard a coyote in the far distance, very faintly. Oh, that's nice. Out here on the hood between the pop-up headlights, you can really hear that rain. The lightning has slowed. The rain is still falling. Look at how dramatic the lighting over there is. I love the kind of volumetric effect. Where you get this sort of hazy look between the distant mountains, slopes. Let's go back to that hood view. That was really nice. Just enjoy the sound for a little bit. I do think that evening is falling. We might get some nighttime driving soon. Oh, there we go. Our lights just came on. Distant thunder can also be a surprisingly relaxing sound. Alright, well, ooh, that was dramatic. Lightning is very exciting to me because where I live, my part of the world, we almost never get thunder and lightning. Maybe once a year in the summertime if we're lucky. But of course I know many places get massive thunderstorms many times throughout the year. I think some of the most intense thunder and lightning I've ever experienced was in Mexico, actually, Puerto Vallarta. It was just insane. Alright, well, we should carry on, but I'm gonna have to be very careful getting out of here. We're just gonna have to make sure we reverse right off the bat here. Just check behind us here, see what we got. Yeah, we can back up, probably back out safely. That's some beautiful lighting. Look at that. So pretty. And this whole church here is really nice. Again, I just love the detail that the developers put into these environments. This big bespoke ruin here. Lots of people would never even bother to drive up here, you know? Okay, but let's go. I won't let the intrusive thoughts win. I will not floor it off this cliff. We'll carefully attempt to back up here. To reverse. Back. Where we came. Oh, it'll buff out. It'll be fine. I'm so sorry for what I'm doing to this F40. Okay, now can we make it down this slope intact? It's a pretty steep grade. And there's this, okay, alright. Just carefully make our way down. Oof. Crunch. Alright, we're good. We're fine. Everything's fine. The rain has stopped. Love how you can hear those turbos. You know, in past when I've done these videos, well, I've done a couple of different things actually. Another roadside stand here. Lots of... Oh, we've got someone behind us. They're gonna get a couple of someones. In Mercedes. Let's just pull aside. Actually, why don't we find out what's up here? Don't know where this goes. There's some lights up here though. In past, what I've done is I've either been playing with my wheel and pedals and shifter, which I'm not doing today. As I mentioned, I'm just using my Xbox controller today. But I think previously, even when I used my Xbox controller, I had it set to manual transmission mode so I could control the revs a little better, and control the sound a little better. I forgot to do that this time, but Hopefully it still sounds okay. Gosh, there's big beautiful mountains in the far distance there. Just barely visible in the haze. And this looks to be some kind of gondola, which I guess goes down to the valley bottom. The night here is so atmospheric. This is beautiful, hazy blue. Even though it's a couple of years old now, I still think Forza Horizon 5 is one of the best looking games out there. It's really pretty. And then of course Forza Motorsport came out recently as well, which is the, I guess you might call it I guess it's the next, well, it's a sequel in the Forza series, rather than the Forza Horizon series. But rather than giving it, the next number, what would this be? This would have been 8? 7? 7 or 8. They just call it Forza Motorsport, which makes me think maybe it's sort of like a soft reboot, but I don't know if that's actually what it is, because I haven't played it. I have heard it's okay, but truth be told, I'm not really much of one for like hardcore simulation racing. I know some people get really into the sim racing. Me, I like something a bit more arcadey, something just a bit more fun, less stodgy. No offense, sim racing fans. I know it can be really cool. What's this over here? Looks like a construction site of some kind. Yeah. Wonder if there's a view. Let's go take a look. But because I like something a bit more fun and arcadey, the Forza Horizon series has definitely been, there we go, been my jam for a number of years now. It's not really that great a view, honestly. Let's just keep going. They probably didn't need that cone. I grew up on the original Need for Speed games, which I think I've mentioned before. But, so like, well, I played a little bit of the very first one, the Need for Speed, Road and Tracks, the Need for Speed, which was ostensibly a more sim racing kind of experience, but it was the mid-90s, so it wasn't that realistic. But it was a little more buttoned up than what was to come. Oh wow, look at that. Sunrise already. The nights in this game are very brief. I kind of wish they were longer because it's really pretty at nighttime. The next couple of Need for Speeds were Need for Speed 2, of course, which definitely got a little wackier. Not in terms of there being like crazy cars. Well, I mean, there were certainly exotic supercars and whatnot, but you know, they were all at least real cars. Well, actually, that's also not true. They had a couple of concept cars in there that never actually reached production, like the Ford Indigo and the GT90. And then there were a bunch of cheat codes which let you drive truly absurd things. Any of the scenery objects from the game could be driven with the right cheat codes. I remember there was a level with an outhouse in it, so you could drive an outhouse, and another one with a dinosaur in it, like a dinosaur prop. The level takes place in Hollywood, so you could drive a big T-Rex. Gorgeous view here as we're coming down the mountainside. And the tracks in Need for Speed 2 were much more fun and exotic. Camper on the side of the road here. They were scattered throughout the world. And as a kid, I was really excited because they had a Vancouver track, and I come from that part of the world. It's not often that Vancouver gets featured in video games. In fact, that's the only instance I can think of. So that was fun to see some familiar landmarks in that track in Need for Speed 2. Stuff like the big Science World globe and the Lionsgate Bridge and Stanley Park and the SkyTrain. Let's go back inside. Oh, just in time for it to start raining again. Yeah, that was a fun game. I played tons and tons of Need for Speed 2. And it was great because it had split screen local co-op, or not co-op, multiplayer. So two people could race. My brother and I, as well as my friends and I, spent many, many hours hunched around our little old 15-inch CRT hooked up to my old Pentium 166. Well, not mine, my family's. Playing on the same keyboard. One person got WASD, the other got the arrow keys. Simpler times, but good times. Let's do bumper cam for a little while. And then Need for Speed 3 was also a classic. Similar vibes in that the tracks were kind of fun. Some of them were a little bit wacky. And lots of exotic supercars. Exotic cars in exotic locales, I think, is my favorite type of racing game. Of course, those Need for Speeds were never as arcadey as the actual arcade racing games like Cruising World and Cruising Exotica and that sort of thing. Okay, we've come to an intersection here, and truth be told, I do not know this map well enough to know where we ought to go. But I say we go left. This landmass, this map area for the Rally Adventure DLC is a separate area, separate landmass, not connected to the main map. And I've actually played it very little, so I just don't know my way around very well. But it's kind of fun to just pick a direction and go. And we will see what we shall see. Looks like we're entering sort of lowland palm forest now. Ooh, do we want to... Yeah, let's do it. Let's take a dirt track. Oh, okay, we're gonna go for a little swim. I'm so sorry, F40. Not even a little bit what this car was made for. Nobody in their right mind would ever even contemplate doing that. Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit might be my favorite Need for Speed of all time. Well, actually, I don't know. I might take that back. I think Need for Speed 2, perhaps. Very hard for me to say. I know a lot of people really love the Need for Speed Underground, Most Wanted, those ones. Underground 2. I'd sort of moved away from the series by that time. But honestly, the sort of like tuner car aspect of those games didn't appeal to me as much as exotic supercars in the earlier games. Found some kind of event here, I guess. As well as a little village. Yeah, it's kind of pretty. Well, we'll just cruise on through here. Co-op championships start here. I will say though, I did enjoy the 5th Need for Speed, which was Porsche Unleashed. Porsche Unleashed. And that one was a bit more serious. You could only drive Porsches, and you started way back in the distant history, the origins of Porsche, and sort of raced through their history. And so you started with these really old classic Porsches. Gosh, look at the mud on our tires and all up the side. Just terrible. But shockingly realistic looking. Like, so good. I stopped here because I noticed in the distance there a beautiful waterfall. Look at that. I want to go over there. So let's see if we can find our way to the gorgeous waterfall. It's going to require some more off-roading, methinks. Stop, back it up. I think we want to go this way. You know, I think there is an e-brake button on the controller, but I forget what it is. So we're just kind of sliding around here. Yeah, Porsche Unleashed was definitely more of a sim. The handling was much better modeled, you know, the vehicle dynamics, than any of the earlier Need for Speed games. Much less arcadey in its feel. And that actually took me a fair bit to get used to when I was younger and had no sim racing experience at all. Um, the vehicle handling was challenging, especially because, like I said, you were driving those old Porsches. And, they did not handle or perform like modern vehicles do. Alright, time for another little bath here. Much needed after that muddy adventure. Looks like we've joined up with the main road again. This might get us closer to that waterfall. We can only hope. I think we probably want to go this way. I've sort of lost sight of that waterfall now, I have to admit. I think it's still back here. Oh, this is pretty. Look at all these flowers over here. In tires. What do you think? Do we go left or do we go straight to get to the waterfall? I feel like left might be the answer. We'll find out one way or another. Anyway, I did eventually get the hang of the handling on those old Porsches in the Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed, and I did come to appreciate that game quite a bit. When I think back on those old Need for Speeds, one of the things that stands out the most to me. Oh, hey, there's the waterfalls up ahead. We are on the right track. One of the things that stands out to me most is the music. Especially Need for Speed 2 and 3. Those games had such killer soundtracks. Just amazing stuff, like fun sort of rock and techno. But yeah, they slapped. I still fire up those soundtracks every now and again, just to listen to. The menu music from Need for Speed 2 is absolutely iconic. Okay, are we still headed towards the waterfall? I feel like now we're kind of turning away from the waterfall. But what if we hang right up here? Is this even a trail that we can take? This is pretty rough looking. But let's see what we can find. Okay, I think this will work. I think if we hang a right here, I think we'll continue heading the direction we want. Did any of you ever play those old Need for Speeds? Is this ringing bells for anyone? Is anyone nodding their head in agreement as I'm reminiscing about these old games, or are they too old? I don't know. It's sort of ironic that we're here enjoying the beautiful atmosphere. Oh, look at that. The beautiful atmosphere of Forza Horizon 5, and I'm just rambling on and on about the Need for Speed series. This is a cute little stand. A little radio playing some chill guitar music. And some fruit for sale. A little bicycle. I will say that the Forza Horizon series definitely took up the mantle of that mantra, sort of exotic cars, exotic locales. The Need for Speed series, as of late, has been pretty lackluster. I don't know if it will ever return to its former glory. It's bath time once more. Guess so. Stall out here as we drown our engine. I was thinking we could come over here, just park down by the water. Down, down, down by the river, one might even say. Yeah, I really need to figure out if I can just brake without reversing. Because I don't really want to. It's like, okay, there. Well, kind of wish we could look up at the waterfall, but we cannot. That's not an option. But sounds nice, doesn't it? Let's see if we can just back up a little bit here, maybe get a slightly better view. Oop. Oh, oops. Oh gosh, that's not what I meant to do. Oh boy. I was just trying to get back here so we could maybe get a better view of the falls. This looks chill. What's this? A little RV park? Yeah, let's join them. Sorry about your fence, guys. Well, let's turn around here. See if we can get a nice view of the waterfall from here. There you go. Ain't that lovely? So lovely, in fact. And this, I think, would be a great place to end this video, this drive today. Hanging out. A little tiki torch here. Looks like a barbecue over there. We can grill up some tasty meats or something. Just chill with our F40, our off-roading F40, and enjoy the beautiful waterfall. Friends, thank you so much for joining me on today's drive. I know it has been far, far too long since I did one of these, and I do hope you enjoyed it. I'll try and do another one of these sooner than the last gap. I'll try not to make it a year and a half, because I do have fun just cruising around with you guys. It's pretty chill. As always, if you enjoyed this, please feel free to let me know down in the comments, and if you have a particular vehicle you'd like to see me drive in a future video, I'd be happy to have you leave that down in the comments as well. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look very forward to having you back here next time. Farewell for now, my friends. You know, supercars are pretty cool, I'll admit. But you know what's even cooler? Amazing people like these incredible folks right here who support what I do on this channel by signing up for my Patreon and my YouTube memberships. And you too, dear viewer or listener, you too could be one of these folks enjoying the fun benefits that they do. I have several different tiers on each platform. They're the same. You get the same perks. And I'm sure that you can find one that is right for you. You get perks like your name here on this page. You get perks like at the first row and up tier, you get to vote on the topic of a video every month. And at the first row tier, well, those very special individuals, they get their names read out in a special spoken shout out in every single video. And you are about to hear our Fusro tier supporters for this video, starting with Captain Vanquisher, Ragnar Ragnarsson, Drummer Brit, K Time, Jake Luffney, Odinson, and Rango Steele. An incredibly kind group of individuals, and I cannot thank them enough, which is why I do it at the end of every single video. It's like I'm trying to thank them enough, but I can never get there, so I'll just keep thanking them. Once again, a big old thanks to all of our amazing supporters here, and if you would like to join their illustrious ranks, please consider checking out the links down below in the video description.